Every great story starts with the rush of thrilling gaming action. Handcrafted flavors, eager to please. Getaways for some well-deserved me time. And rewards worth bragging about. If it's a story worth telling, it starts at La Berge Baton Rouge. What's your story?
The Team Automotive Group, we're offering you the Team Guarantee on new and used vehicles. Included with every new vehicle is a lifetime limited powertrain warranty. And now, get a 90-day warranty on the purchase of a pre-owned vehicle. Get the Team Guarantee at every location of the Team Automotive Group.
Visit Treads & Care Tire Company's new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for over 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair and top-notch customer service.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
As we start today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show, here's hoping all is well with you and yours and your little slice of South Louisiana heaven since the last opportunity we had to spend a little time with you and yours. We start today's show with Louisiana news and more tragic Louisiana news. This past week, a 22-year-old mother, Ivy Lee, arrested and charged with murder after leaving her 6-month-old child, Carissa Lewis, unattended in a hot car for 5 hours. It is as horrific a case as you will ever encounter, but what makes it even more so is the fact that just 3 years ago, this same mother had a child taken from her and put in the custody of another family member after doing the same thing with another child that almost died. I am one of those, y'all, that's on occasion hesitant to label something a crisis. But we have a major problem in our state, and you could very easily categorize our scenario as a crisis when you take into account what has happened in recent memory to children in our state. I have watched legislators and others with this huge outcry in recent memory about what is happening at the Department of Children and Family Services. And I am one of those that's of the opinion, when you look back a few months and the head of that agency complained to the Louisiana legislature that they are woefully understaffed, talking to the tune of 400 vacancies in that agency, then I am of the opinion that a huge part of the blame here rests squarely in the laps of the Louisiana legislature. Consider this, if you will. To me, this is akin to where you work or used to work. The boss coming in and raising holy you know what because something isn't being done right in the workplace. And you tell the boss, the reason we didn't do whatever it was is because we're understaffed. We don't have enough people to do the job the way the job is supposed to be done. Once you inform the boss about this, Louisiana legislature, and the boss refuses to hire more people, refuses to dedicate the financial resources to get the job done, then you can no longer blame the employees. The blame lies squarely with you. It's not all that hard to figure out. Any agency that is 400 people short, due in part, due almost exclusively to the fact that the legislature has not appropriated the money to hire the number of people, you don't have to be Einstein to figure out where the blame lies. It is happening with a degree of frequency that is frightening. And sadly, it is happening to the most vulnerable among us, children, y'all. Now, I don't know what it's going to take for the Louisiana legislature to get off their butts and do their freaking job. If the Department of Children and Family Services is 400 employees short, and every so many days we're hearing about a story of a child dying or nearly dying after falling through the cracks, we know where the blame lies. At the end of the day, a boss's job, and in this case, it's the legislature, because the Secretary of the Department of Children and Family Services went to the legislature months ago complaining we don't have enough people to do the job. At the end of the day, when you hire staff, enough people to do the job, and the job is not being done, then you know who to fire. You know. But in this case, when the appropriations are not being made to hire the people, then the legislature and the governor are the ones to blame. We all bemoan the fact that these darling children are dying. But when are we going to hire enough people to do the job so that it stops? Now, if you don't think we have a major problem with children in our state and crime, another Louisiana story. Here in South Louisiana, it has happened yet again. An 18-year-old from Baton Rouge goes to Plaquemine for a funeral for a 21-year-old from Baton Rouge, and this idiot gets involved in an altercation in the parking lot of the freaking church after the funeral, pulls out a handgun and shoots someone 3 times at a funeral, for God's sake. Now, listen, y'all, I get it. I know I'm old, and I know my values are not in line with the values of a lot of people. I get that. But what kind of idiot do you have to be to go to a funeral for someone who was murdered and bring a gun and shoot somebody in the parking lot of the freaking church after the funeral lets out? Are you kidding me? Our children are speaking to us, y'all. They are speaking to us in no uncertain terms, and it's obvious we're not listening. An 18-year-old, I mean, who do you know that sits around and says, all right, I'm getting ready to go to the funeral for so-and-so. Do I have a box of tissues in my pocket in case, you know, I get overwhelmed emotionally and I start crying? Do I have my tissues? Do I have my Bible in case the pastor, in reading the eulogy, says, turn your Bibles to page whatever, whatever. Okay, I got my tissues, I got my Bible, I got my car keys. Yeah, be sure I can get there and back. Oh, and do I have my gun? Really? We are facing some seriously dangerous times, people. And you know, there used to be, speaking of being old and your values no longer lining up with the rest of society, the sheriff there saying, and I'll paraphrase, today, Baton Rouge came to Plaquemine, and I'm not very happy about it. There used to be a time you wouldn't do certain things because of how it reflected upon you, your family, and your community. There used to be a time you wouldn't do certain things because of the shame that it would bring on your name, on your community, and your family. Obviously, those days are long gone, y'all. Now, at the end of the day, and I'm going to talk about this in just a minute. At the end of the day, rest assured, these young people are not stupid. They see what our reactions are to the things that they're doing, and they are milking it for all it's worth. If this 18-year-old had any guidance at all and was concerned in any way, shape, or form about the repercussions, the ramifications of his actions, do you really think that 18-year-old would go to a funeral packing a gun? You know, it's one thing, y'all, to point the finger of blame at, quote, them young people. But these are our children, y'all. These children didn't just magically pop up out of the ground. They didn't fall from the baby tree in somebody's backyard. These are our children. And what they are doing is a behavior that is distinctly brought about by what they see and hear every single day. You go to a funeral for a 21-year-old murder victim, and in the parking lot of the church, shoot someone 3 times. The sheriff had it right. Today, Baton Rouge came to Plaquemine, and I'm not happy about it, nor should he be. First break of today's show. Speaking of juveniles and crime, occurred to me this morning, it's time we change another law. And we'll talk about that when we continue today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
The Mazda CX-50. Confident on- and off-road performance and intelligently designed utility inside and out.
The all-new Mazda CX-50 has arrived and is on sale right now at Team Mazda on Airline.
Hi, gang. Clarence Bugs here, inviting you to come by Old School Barbecue, 10655 Coursey Boulevard, where we tape the show live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 11 o'clock. Come by and feast on news, sports, current events, love of God and country, and lots of common sense, along with some of the best barbecue anywhere on the planet. 10655 Coursey Boulevard, Old School Barbecue, home of the Clarence Bugs Show.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Show. In the first segment, we talked about Louisiana news and the crime problem that continues to get worse and worse, particularly involving young people. And I saw this story a couple days ago, and it brought to mind something I would like you viewers to contemplate. As far as I can remember, it has been against the law for pictures and names to be published of juveniles accused of crimes. And we all know that the rationale behind that for many years has been, well, you got to understand at this age, as a juvenile, you may not understand the consequences of your actions, and we don't want to, for the rest of their lives, have them with this label around their neck. Well, recently, the BRPD arrested a 20-year-old along with a 15-year-old after they were caught in 2 stolen vehicles, and they later found out the 15-year-old was bragging on social media that he and another person ambushed a woman and murdered her on Florida Boulevard. Now, did I also mention this 15-year-old that was bragging on social media about murdering someone, they have on surveillance video these two individuals in stolen vehicles at 2:40 in the morning. 20 minutes to 3 o'clock in the morning, a 15-year-old is riding around in a stolen vehicle, ambushes and murders a woman, and then it almost came out. This person then brags on social media about ambushing and killing a woman. Now, I want you to consider this, if you will. Maybe it's time we change this law. Here's what I mean. At 15, you obviously have no respect for juvenile curfew because you're out at 2:45 in the freaking morning ambushing people and then bragging about it on social media. So obviously, you don't care about the juvenile curfew. But in addition to that, you bragged on social media about what you did. So you have now, in my layperson's way of thinking, you have now forfeited the right to privacy. You let everybody know what you did. So if you don't care about it, why should we? And at the end of the day, if there is a 15-year-old, a 20-year-old, a 13-year-old living 2 houses down from me that murdered somebody and then bragged about it on social media, damn it, I want to know about it. How am I supposed to protect myself, my family, my children when I've got somebody living 2 houses down that's a confessed murderer? But you can't tell me or show me a picture. What is that all about? They have relinquished their right to privacy. Now listen, y'all, I get it. Believe it or not, I was young once, and I understand full well that young people do stupid stuff. That's a part of the maturation process. It's a part of maturing. I get it. But when you murder a woman and then get on social media and brag about it, it is time for that privacy right to go away. End of discussion. And the fact of the matter is, y'all, we as a society have got to ask ourselves and come to grips with the fact that this 15-year-old committed the most heinous act in all of humanity. You murdered somebody. You took an innocent life. And you felt, apparently, that you could brag about it on social media and nobody would pay any attention. Nobody would think, apparently, in the mind of this 15-year-old, nobody would think there's anything wrong with that. I murdered somebody. And I could tell the entire world on social media what I did. And this person, obviously, since they felt comfortable enough to post it on social media, apparently that person feels, well, society doesn't care anything about this. Let me tell the whole world what I did. And now, because it's a juvenile, we want to keep his identity a secret. Not just no, but oh hell no. It's time to change that law, y'all. If you are big enough, bad enough, bold enough, old enough to do the crime, and then brag about it on social media, then the rest of us need to know. We need to know. Listen, y'all, I get it. Again, I'm old. I understand. When I grew up, there was such a thing as shame. You didn't do certain things because of the shame that it would bring on your family's name, on your neighborhood, on the community where you live. I understand those days are gone. There's a whole lot of folk out there ain't got no shame about nothing. But we have an obligation, y'all, to protect ourselves. Think about that. A 15-year-old ambushes and murders a woman. And then, like it was just had a big birthday party, brags about it on social media. 2:45 in the morning, a 15-year-old is out riding around in a stolen vehicle and taking part in a murder. Now, some people would also make the argument those parents need to be charged. What is your child doing out in a stolen car at 2:45 in the morning, murdering people? Charge the parents. If the parents have done every single thing conceivable to rein that child in and it hasn't worked, then take the child and put him in state custody. Enough's enough, y'all. At what point do we step up as adults and say, this is enough of this crap, y'all. This has got to end. We've got a curfew. You don't care nothing about a curfew. He's out riding around in a stolen car at 2:45. We got murder. We got laws against murder. You don't care nothing about that. They ambush a woman and murder her. So at what point do we continue to allow them to disregard the law, flaunt their disregarding of the law, and we don't do a darn thing about it? Aren't you just about sick and tired of being sick and tired? Apparently not, because it's still going on. You know, I am a huge fan of the TV show The First 48. I think it is the hands down best show on television, the most realistic, and it gives you an inside look into the criminal mind, particularly the homicide mind. But I got to tell you, stories like this and stories that I watch all the time on The First 48, the respect level for law enforcement is through the roof. I cannot imagine what homicide detectives go through weekly, multiple times during a week, looking at the bodies of 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, 5-year-olds, 13-year-olds, over and over and over and over again. And yet, what are we doing to curtail this? Bottom of the hour break. We'll get her done. Come back and continue talking with you right where we've got it on today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
At the Team Automotive Group, we're offering you the Team Guarantee on new and used vehicles. Included with every new vehicle is a lifetime limited powertrain warranty. And now, get a 90-day warranty on the purchase of a pre-owned vehicle. Get the Team Guarantee at every location of the Team Automotive Group.
Hi, I'm Katie, Operation Manager here at Old School Barbecue. We're excited about all of the changes here at Old School, and we'd like to invite everyone to come out and enjoy some delicious barbecue at Old School prices. We feature brisket, chicken, ribs, sausage, and the Boss Hog pulled pork sandwich voted best deal in town. We also have live music Friday and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. 10655 Coursey Boulevard. We can't wait to see you.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with The Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
Caught spiders. Premier Pest Services.
Show. If you have any time over the last 42 years, either listened to me on radio, watched me on TV, what have you, whether it's news, sports, current events, politics, what have you, you know that your buddy Clarence is a big fan of adages. I grew up in an era where the older among us had a saying that you could apply to just about anything in life, and you could lean on that for guidance in certain things. That's a part of what adults are charged with in handing on wisdom to their children. Not knowledge, mind you, wisdom. You do realize there's a huge difference between the two. Knowledge is one thing. Wisdom is something else entirely. As you grow older, you go to school, you talk to people, you acquire more knowledge. But how to use that knowledge to a productive end is wisdom. There's an old adage that says, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. Enter Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and the Democrats. Remember, right after Joe Biden took office, and the Democrats started spending money like nobody's business. And conservatives told them, you probably don't want to do this because when you engage in reckless, irresponsible spending, inevitably, history and basic economics has shown us that you're going to end up with inflation. Conservatives said it over and over and over again. If you keep on with the reckless spending, we're going to end up with inflation. Oh, no. That's not going to happen. Yes, it is. History has shown us if you keep doing this, we're going to end up not with just inflation, but with inflation out the wazoo. So what did they do? Well, you know what they did. They didn't listen. They did it anyway. They spent trillions and trillions of dollars. And what happened? We ended up with inflation. Not just inflation, the worst inflation in over 40 years. So we told them over and over again, keep doing this, here's what's going to happen. They denied it. They did it anyway. And what happened? Well, what we told them would happen, happened. Record-setting inflation. So at this point, you've had someone tell you, if you do this, this is what's going to happen. You had somebody tell you, you did it anyway, and now we see the results. We see now that what we told you was going to happen, happened. Worst inflation in 40 years. Even though we told you, if you keep spending like this, if you keep it up, inflation is going to ravage this country. So now we know, you know, that conservatives were telling you the truth. So, what did the Democrats do? After being told, still doing it, after seeing the results and knowing, maybe they knew what the hell they were talking about when they told us this. What did they do last Friday? You know what they did. More of the exact same thing. President Joe Biden, doing what Democrats usually do, put a catchy name on something and did more of the exact same thing. After we told them, if you keep engaging in this reckless spending, we're going to have inflation at the wazoo. We now have inflation out the wazoo. And this past Friday, our federal government then engaged in spending another $700 billion. Now, based upon what we told you was going to happen before you engaged in all this reckless spending, based upon what happened, which is just what we told you was going to happen, after spending another $700 billion, what do you think is going to happen next? I know. What you think, Charles? More of the same. Ding, ding, ding. Got a winner. Now, to show you, all you loyal Democrats, particularly black folk, to show you they don't care about you, they have no excuse now. They know engaging in reckless, irresponsible spending results in inflation. How do we know this? Well, they just engaged in it, and look at the record-setting inflation that we're dealing with. And by the way, y'all have been watching long enough to know, and if you have just a smidgen of sense when it comes to economics, you know who inflation hurts the worst. Oh, Mr. Buggs, I know. Who does it hurt the most, Charles? People with less money. Why is that, Charles? Well, if you have less money to begin with and the price of everything goes up, you can't afford to buy anything with the little bit of money that you already have. My man, you've been paying attention. You've been paying attention, bruh. So now, with the highest inflation in 40 years, and you did catch this, right? The people that are the most adversely affected by inflation, statistically, number one group are Democrats. It's black folk. The most loyal Democrats on the planet. Black folk, statistically, make money and have less money than any other ethnic group in this country, which means they are hurt the most by inflation. So what did they do? They engaged in more of the same behavior that is going to affect the most loyal Democrats even more. Are you starting to see a pattern here? Now, after watching this unfold, you now know that Clarence and them conservatives were not lying to you. We told you what would happen. If you keep doing this, we're going to have inflation that's going to crush people. They did it anyway. And now inflation is crushing people. And what did they do? They engaged in more of the same behavior. Now, I don't know about you. Maybe you're different. Maybe you know something your buddy Clarence doesn't know. But at the end of the day, continuing to do the same thing that has resulted in crushing the wallets and the lives of the most ardent of your supporters does not show me that you care the way you say you do. See, this is how they play you. They will tell you, oh, them evil conservatives, they don't care nothing about black people, they don't care nothing about minorities, blah, 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 blah. Here's a question. If Democrats / liberals / progressives, if they care so much about minorities, and if conservatives are such the evil ones when it comes to minorities, why is it that the majority of Democrat-run cities and states with the majority of black populations, why is it they're doing the worst? Anybody want to venture a guess? It's because they're lying to you. Now, at the end of the day, you have now seen it. We told you what would happen. They called us all sorts of ugly names. And it happened, just like we told them it would happen. And you are the one that's most affected by it. Now, it should be obvious at this point that either they are so freaking stupid or they simply don't care. I only hope that the next time you go to vote, you will remember this. I only hope that you have been paying attention. Because it's obvious either these folks aren't paying attention or they simply do not care. But as an American, you deserve better, y'all. You deserve better. $700 billion more dollars in the midst of the highest inflation in over 40 years. I don't know about you, but it kind of says to me these people don't know what the hell they're doing. Either that or they know exactly what they're doing. You decide which one it is. Final break of today's show. We'll talk a little hypocrisy and the left when we come back for the final segment of today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show right here on the Pelican. Stay close.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats. The flavor says it all.
Every great story starts with the rush of thrilling gaming action. Handcrafted flavors, eager to please. Getaways for some well-deserved me time. And rewards worth bragging about. If it's a story worth telling, it starts at La Berge Baton Rouge. What's your story?
Treads & Care Tire Company announces its new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair with top-notch customer service. Treads & Care offers the convenience of shuttle service and pickup and delivery of your vehicle. You can also enjoy the comfortable customer area, complete with workstations, high-speed internet, and a complimentary coffee bar.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
Treads & Care, the tires you need and the service you want.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
Tremonti's has meat. Tremonti's has seafood. Tremonti's has much more. Tailgating and home gating platters. Huge wine and liquor selection. Beer and all the spices you need. Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats. Ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs. 20 flavors of sausage for the grill. Daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tremonti's.com.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. Earlier in the show, I mentioned the fact that your buddy Clarence is a fan of the old adages. Listen, y'all, I am who I am. I make no bones about it. I make no apologies for it. A lot of the things that I've learned in life are due to adages handed down from generation to generation, things that have proven unquestionably to be true. One of those happens to be what you hear me say all the time. Don't listen to what they say, watch what they do. People can tell you anything, but it's what they do that speaks the loudest. In recent memory, the whole climate change deal has become a part of the American lexicon. It's a part of our jargon now. It's a part of Americana. And speaking of recent memory, one of those leading the charge in the fight against climate change is Leonardo DiCaprio. You know him from the movies, big-time Hollywood movie star, West Coast Hollywood elite. And of course, at every opportunity, he will preach to us about saving the planet. Remember, don't listen to what they say, watch what they do. We now know Mr. Preach to everybody about saving the planet. In 2014, Sony Picture Studios rented a private jet for him, and in the course of 6 weeks on this private jet, he made 6 trips, round trips, from California to New York. The entire length of the country on a private jet 6 times in 6 weeks. Oh, but it gets better. That was 2014. 2016, he takes a private jet 8,000 miles from New York, 8,000 miles to accept an award on a private jet for his efforts at saving the planet. 6 trips across the entire country on a private jet in 6 weeks. Then he turns around and flies 8,000 miles on a private jet from New York City to Europe to accept an award. Now, apparently, this guy knows nothing about a little thing called Zoom. He apparently knows nothing about an organization called the Postal Service. You flew 8,000 miles on a private jet to receive an award. Couldn't you have done that by Zoom and let them mail you the award? But see, this is not how these people think. Oh, and that's not all. The same year that he took the private jet 8,000 miles to receive an award, the same year, he takes another private jet from New York to Switzerland for the World Economic Forum, Marty's favorite people, the WEF. Same year, he flies a private jet from New York to Switzerland, where, by the way, they gave him another award for his efforts to save the planet. And you gonna preach to me about my carbon footprint? This guy has a yacht that he takes out for months at a time that makes your house look like an outhouse. And you gonna preach to me about my carbon footprint? You know, I am so grateful that my late father, God bless him, taught all of his children early in life. A man has got to know his limitations. Don't let me fly your airplane. I will kill everybody on it. It doesn't mean I'm a bad person. It means I'm not a pilot. I know my limitations. Speaking of limitations, I know not to get around, go around, be around people like Mr. DiCaprio, because it's not going to end up well. He's going to go preaching about saving the planet, and the next thing I know, I'm going to be standing up in front of the judge with my hands handcuffed behind me saying, Your Honor, I don't know what happened. I just blanked. I snapped. This clown recently at the White House preaching to us about saving the planet. But you'll get on a private jet, which estimates are will spew out tens, God knows how many times more carbon and pollution than flying commercial. Of course, he's Leonardo DiCaprio. He can't be seen flying with you peons on a commercial jet. He flies 6 times across the whole freaking country in 6 weeks. Flies 8,000 miles on a private jet to receive an award. Later the same year, flies from New York to Switzerland. And you would dare preach to us about our carbon footprint. Don't listen to what they say. Watch what they do. And it'll tell you every freaking thing you need to know. It is what we have allowed our country to become. But it can only happen, and it can only continue when we allow it to. Stop listening to these idiots. Stop paying attention to these fools. Because when you do, here we are. My time's up, y'all, and I gotta go. But this day, just like every other in history, I give it to you. You know what? You're right. America, we are not perfect. But for this old boy's money, it's the best there is, and God knows there's no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. Speaking of the good Lord, you do realize that he loves you, right? And I hope you know that I do too. Best news you gonna get all day. There ain't a doggone thing you can do about either one. Take care of yourselves and each other, and we'll see you soon. God bless.